Coffee Talk. I'm Chad.
I'm Sean.
And today our topic is going to be DSCR loans. Debt Service Coverage Ratio loans. So DSCR loans, pretty popular loans. Let's start off with Sean. Sean, I told him we were going to talk about DSCR loans today. And I think that created a couple of questions. So what kind of questions
absolutely. So first of all, who would benefit most from a DSCR loan? If I'm the average Joe, that's what I'm going to wonder when I'm watching this video. So first off, who's going to benefit?
Yeah. DSCR loans is a non-QM loan, and it's made for investors. So you got to be some sort of investor, or you have to be purchasing an investment property. So you don't have to own 20 homes. You can own no homes, or you can own one house or whatever. You could just be a regular person looking to buy an investment property, and that's who this loan could be good for.
Very nice. So, for instance, if I'm just purchasing my future home, a DSCR loan is not going to work for me.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to use a DSCR loan because it is made only for investment properties. So you have to sign. There's an affidavit that you'll sign that says this is a house that you do not plan to live in, that you don't have any intentions of living in, because it's being purchased as an investment property.
Very nice. So let's say I'm going through the process of getting a DSCR loan. What could I expect that process to be? How could that be any different than just getting a, let's say, conventional loan? Or is there any difference?
Yeah, and that's the crux of the question right there, is why use a DSCR loan in the first place? What's the point? And the point is really paperwork. Let's say, as a for instance, there's lots of different scenarios, but I'll just give you one. Let's say you already own like 15 houses, right? That's a lot of paperwork we're going to have to go through. Show all the different payments for the houses, show all the different tax returns and your personal stuff. We have to do all of that. Now we can do that. That's totally fine, and that has a benefit. But let's say the tax returns aren't favorable for whatever reason, or maybe you don't even feel like showing all that paperwork. This is where the DSCR loans comes in. This debt service coverage ratio loans come in, because it's really a no-doc loan. I'm not going to ask you for any type of income documents. The only thing that we're going to require, the only thing that is required on a DSCR loan to prove that you can buy this, is an appraisal on the property. Does that help answer that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's super, super cool. And we were talking about it a little bit earlier. It is a very specific loan. So not everyone's going to be going out getting a DSCR loan, but for those who do need it, that is a great option, especially, like you said, a no docs loan.
Yeah.
It could be super easy, and that's what people are looking for.
Yeah, it's an easy loan to get. I should say it's an easier loan to get than if you had 10, 20 properties already, then providing all that paperwork. And so how you qualify for it is just this way. Let's say the payment on the house that you're buying, let's say we work up the numbers, we work up the loan, and everything is good. And just to keep the math easy, let's say the payment is $2,000 a month. That's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and everything. Let's say it's $2,000 a month. In order to qualify under this DSCR loan program, it's an investment property, first of all, we would get an appraisal. And on that appraisal, the appraiser is going to go out there and say that this house will rent for X amount, right? Because it's an investment property, we're wondering what the appraisal will come back, what the appraiser will say this house will rent for. And so we have a payment of $2,000 a month. What we need in order to qualify is the appraisal rent to say $2,000 a month, right? So let's say the appraiser comes back and says, you know what, this house is only going to appraise or rent for $1,000 a month, but the payment is $2,000. You don't qualify for that. House does not qualify for a DSCR loan unless we put a lot more money down in order to get the payment to match the appraisal, what they call rent schedule. Now from there, that's a 1-to-1 ratio, right?
Gotcha.
Appraisal rent schedule shows $2,000 in this particular made-up scenario. My payment is $2,000. That's 1-to-1. They match. Well, different types of DSCR loan programs will allow for different ratios. Sometimes it's 1.25, 25, 1.25, 1.15, things like that. Maybe even 0.95, a little less. So the point is that there are ratios there. That's why they call it a debt service coverage ratio loan, DSCR, is there's different ratios where we qualify based on credit, based on program, specific program, based on kind of a myriad of things. But that's where you certainly want to have a deeper conversation with your loan officer.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to depend on that ratio that you meet and qualify for.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, yeah, then it just depends on the conversation, and you'll just kind of dive deeper and figure out what you qualify for. I want to circle back around. So we're throwing out the term investment property a lot. And so there's a lot of people out there who maybe don't have investment properties, but they want to start on that journey. It's a great route.
Yeah.
It's a great route to get into real estate. But let's say, is a DSCR loan, I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. That's why I want to ask, is it the best route to start off with a first investment property?
Sure.
Or is that something like you talked about earlier, once you kind of have more investment properties further down the line, this is the route you want to go? What's kind of the difference between that, if I'm looking at it from getting my first property?
Yeah, I mean, the interest rate on a DSCR loan is going to be a little bit higher than an interest rate on a conventional loan. But sometimes you might not qualify for a conventional loan, and that means that's why we need to utilize the DSCR loan, because we don't qualify for a conventional loan, or maybe it's a lot of paperwork, whatever. So for the first-time investor, it's your first investment property that you're buying. Maybe you own a home, maybe you don't own a home, but we're looking to purchase an investment property. I would probably say, let's try and find a loan, like a conventional loan first, just because the interest rates on that are cheaper. Typically the down payments on that are a little bit lower. There's less money out of pocket. But if it's the difference between not buying a house and buying a house, well, then the DSCR loan is good. And again, the DSCR loan is good for even right out of the gate for a lot of people. But when we're talking about the very first home you're buying, maybe it's the very first investment property you're buying, I would weigh the options, weigh the pros and cons. If you qualify for a conventional loan, then maybe we weigh the pros and cons and figure out, is the DSCR loan the best way to go?
Sounds good. Yeah, definitely it's a good loan to have in the back pocket, and not all lenders are going to have them. So you're going to want to find a lender like us at JCM Lending who do have the option to take you the DSCR loan route. And yeah, you said it perfectly. I do agree. I think you do want to go conventional first, obviously, but if you can't qualify for some reason, that doesn't mean you're out of luck. You got to talk to someone like us. That's our job, is to get creative, and one of the ways we can get creative, especially with investment properties, is DSCR loans.
Yeah. So
yeah, we just wanted to explain a little bit more about that. Did you have anything else you wanted to kind of touch on with them?
No, I think we pretty much covered the broad spectrum. I think we can dive into the details more. That's where you want to talk to a loan officer, talk to a broker, so that they can have access to different types of programs that are there. There are multiple types of DSCR
Definitely.
programs out there. Some are easier, some are harder, some have higher interest rates, some have lower. But the point is that there's a wide range out there. So definitely want to talk to your loan officer, or give us a call here at JCM Lending, and we'll get you taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, perfect. That's this week's Coffee Talk. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and we'll talk to you next time.
Talk to you soon.